but also this week the story has been much about the Fed, since we heard from Fed Chair Powell twice talking before Congress, testifying before Congress. But President Trump is weighing in on a topic that came up with Fed Chair Powell: cryptocurrencies. And Donald Trump is giving his 2 cents, particularly on Bitcoin. The president tweeting in part saying, quote, "I am not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity." But Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong actually responded to the president's tweet, writing in part, quote, "Achievement unlocked. I dreamt about a sitting U.S. president needing to respond to growing cryptocurrency usage years ago. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. We just made it to step 3. So joining us now to discuss the Bitcoin controversy is Fundstrat Global Advisors Managing Partner and Head of Research, Tom Lee. Tom, thank you so much for being here, sir. When we look at Bitcoin, though, it's funny because you could say this is a positive or a negative that the president is talking about Bitcoin, or that Fed Chair Powell is talking about Bitcoin as well. How do you see it?
I think on balance it's a positive because, cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin really are in the main stage now. Congress, the Fed, the president weighing in. I think Brian Armstrong's comments are spot on. It's very surprising. A year ago, I wouldn't have imagined it. But more importantly, it's going to force everybody who's not involved, and remember, a very small percentage of the world actually cares about crypto and Bitcoin. It's going to force the other 98% of the world to think about what it means. And so it's going to be, I think, an overall positive.
Let's talk about the rally that we've seen, right? Because Bitcoin really did see kind of a push, and this was the thinking when Facebook went out with Project Libra. That was kind of why it reinvigorated the market and the community into focusing on Bitcoin again. But now that we're seeing pressure against that, because President Trump also weighed in on Facebook's plans, saying Facebook's Libra virtual currency will have a little standing or dependability. If Facebook and other companies want to become a bank, they must seek a new banking charter and become subject to all banking regulations, blah, 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 get on through it. But if he's talking about that, right, and we see Facebook's Project Libra come under pressure, is that going to have a negative impact?
I think it's going to be perceived as negative because, one, Facebook is it's a massive platform, and I think Libra likely would be hugely successful, and I think it would be a great gateway to bring people into crypto. But in a world without Libra, is cryptocurrency going to be successful? Absolutely. So I don't think it really changes the long-term outlook for Bitcoin.
And I want to ask just a little bit about Facebook and, institutions like Fidelity offering cryptocurrency trading on its platform. That kind of institutionalization in the long run, could that actually be a risk to prices? Because, you have sort of these assets now that are uncorrelated with other aspects of the market. Would that bring correlation to the table?
I think by nature, the bigger crypto gets, the more widely held, it's going to change the nature of Bitcoin itself. Number one, as you point out, it's going to be increasingly macro related. We already saw it this year. Weaker dollar, Bitcoin's up, EM goes up, Bitcoin's up. So I think the macro connection rises. Mm-hmm. But it's so good for volatility because today crypto is a couple of large wallets, some retail. There isn't systematic institutional buying, so that's why you see such huge volatility. So I think, in a world where there's institutions, the prices and liquidity is much greater. It's a lot of upside from here. And then it becomes something that, asset allocators use, and it's great for relative performance.
But with all the attention on it too, right? When we look at where it'll go, and I know in December of last year, you kind of put out that note saying, I don't want to weigh in on predictions on where Bitcoin goes from here anymore. But when you look at it now, it's going to be positive. Where do you see Bitcoin going? Are you making projections again?
Now you're asking for a prediction.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Well, last December when we said, look, it's tough to do projections, we did say fair value was 14,000 because that's 2.5 times mining cost. And I think that still makes a lot of sense. So I think you can use break-even mining. That does put fair value because, hash power is up and active addresses are up. So Bitcoin's fair value is a lot higher than 14,000 today. But I think another way to think of it is this sort of historical look at sort of FOMO. Mm-hmm. And we've published a few pieces on this that Bitcoin's now trading at a level that it's only seen 3% of its historical days. So if you go back to every milestone that was achieved, Bitcoin subsequently rallied somewhere between 200 to 400% within the next 4 months. So I think if that's playing out this time, that means Bitcoin, could be 20 to 40,000 sometime in the fourth quarter.
Sounds like a prediction to me. Sounds like you're back in the prediction game. I think I'm satisfied with that. But I mean, like when we look at Bitcoin's price moves, right? Because that is where you see things going. But one kind of area of pushback, we've kind of seen that 13.5 mark, really, where it's been met with some price resistance there. I mean, is that really like kind of the hurdle that you need to see Bitcoin achieve to really fall into that $20,000 to $40,000 mark?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people who trade crypto today, because it is primarily retail and some whales, really care about technicals, and so they think about where supply is, so the resistance, and yeah, that's a big level in people's minds, is 13,400. But you know, is that level going to hold forever? As you guys know, there's no such thing as a triple top. So I think the third time you sort of test it is really when you blast through it. And we just saw that with the S&P, right? People said, oh, triple top's wrong. No, we just blew through it.